Hello and welcome into the Golden Lion Sports Network. I'm Luke Winstill here, joined by new St. Pius Athletic Director, Coach Todd Mooney. Mr. Mooney, how have your first few months as the St. Pius Athletic Director gone so far?
First, Luke, thanks for having me. It's a joy to get a chance to talk to you. Looking forward to the opportunity to answer some questions with you. And just to get started, it's been a fantastic start for my first few weeks at St. Pius. I've told people this often, I've never felt so welcome, and I've been at some really, really good places over my career. But St. Pius has just been amazing at how every person I've come across has been so welcoming.
And for those in the community who have not gotten a chance to meet you yet, what do you bring to the table as a leader of the community and now the athletic director here?
Well, I think the most important thing that I hope I can contribute here is life experience in athletics. 29 years in coaching and almost all of them in college. I think I have an opportunity to assist all of our coaches because I've been there in about every situation that they face, good, bad, and indifferent. I've been there, I've seen it happen, whether it's been to me or with somebody else that I've worked with. And hopefully that allows me to guide them and keep them in the path that I know they want to be on, and also keep our athletes focused on the things that they need to be to not only represent St. Pius the way that they should, but to prepare themselves for life after high school.
And after you graduated from Ohio University, you worked as an assistant football coach at multiple places from 1990 to 2005. Then you took over as the head football coach at LaGrange College, and you had that position from 2005 to 2013. After that, from 2014 to 2018, you were the AD and football defensive coordinator at Kingsridge Christian School. You talked a little bit about it, but how do you think your experience in coaching is going to help you with an athletic director when you're working with all of these coaches that you have at St. Pius?
Well, again, I would go back to the life experience in coaching. I think that's a huge asset, but just, some of the intangibles that people don't realize. One of the fantastic things about going to LaGrange College as its first head coach was we started that program from scratch. And when I say scratch, I mean they didn't even have a football at that point. So having an opportunity to be involved with construction of a new building, building fields, adding turf, setting up a budget, and preparing for all the things that you needed to purchase to get a program going, those things are invaluable life experiences for when you get out and have a chance to manage others and help them with their budgets. The coaching experience, I think, is key as an athletic director. It's so important that you understand and know how to work with your coaches because you've been there.
And with LaGrange College and what you did there, I'd like to talk about what you did as their head football coach. And you mentioned you were the program's first ever head coach. The first two seasons, the team combined for an 0-20 record, but in 2008, it was the third year of the program. The team went 9-2, 7-0 in conference play, and the team won the conference championship. So that single season turnaround from 2007 to 2008, obviously the biggest in NCAA D3 history. You were the coach of the year, and that stood out when I was doing my preparation work. So could you tell me what that season was like and how you guided that team to such an incredible turnaround?
Well, the first thing I would say is that I was blessed to have an outstanding group of coaches that worked alongside of me and an outstanding group of student athletes that went through a tough 2-year period in order to get that program established. Now, people don't realize that in this day and age, everybody wants to win now, and win yesterday. And, when you're competing in college athletics or any athletic program, there's a time that needs to be put in by a student athlete. You have to grow, you have to mature, you must be in an off-season, in-season, and summer strength and conditioning program just to get on a level playing field with the other schools that are out there that have upper-class student athletes. The thing that I think we were fortunate with is we were able to create a culture of unity that brought us through those tough times, kept us on the right path, and got us moving forward every game. And those first 2 seasons were tough. It was probably one of the most fantastic times in my life, and also probably one of the most frustrating things I've ever dealt with. And yet, by maintaining that culture of moving forward to something that was going to be bigger than it was that day, we were able to keep a focused group of kids together in that third year. They were able to do some things that are just so special we'll never forget.
And ever since you graduated college, you've always been a football coach or a baseball coach. But now, what led you to become an athletic director, and what has your journey to this point been like?
Well, I think if you go all the way back to the planning of my college career, I was set up and designed with the courses of study and then my master's program to coach as my first priority, and then at some point to transition into being an athletic director. Doing this at Kings Ridge prior to St. Pius and now coming to St. Pius has been kind of a dream come true for me because you get to a point in coaching where you are not around your family very much, and it gets to a point where sometimes not much at all. Transitioning off the field and into the athletic director role has allowed me to stay in the business that I absolutely love, where my passion is from a work environment standpoint, and also to allow myself to be home with my kids more, to be a part of watching them play sports and being a part of my wife's life in a way that I wasn't as a college coach. There were many days where, when I got home from the office, my kids were already asleep. I kissed them goodnight, and in the morning they weren't up yet, and I was already off again. And as they got older and gotten into the things that they're into now, we just couldn't split our van and go two different ways and me be at work all the time. So there was a little struggle there. I love coaching, love being on the field, and at the same time, I'm so grateful to have the family that I have and want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can for them along with my work environment.
And then what are your favorite parts of being an athletic director? You have some experience with it, so what were your favorite parts at Kings Ridge?
Probably the most important thing is being able to share the daily lives of coaches in not just one sport, but in all sports. My life has been focused mainly in football and had secondary duties for several years in baseball. But now having the chance to interact and do life with coaches of other sports and be able to work through the challenges that they go through on a daily basis and be able to interact with them. And it's just been a fantastic experience for me. It's given me an avenue now to work in a different way with student athletes and not be so focused and laser driven into one sport, but to be more involved in a lot of different opportunities that are out there within the different sport environments. So it's been a challenge, and it's also been a lot of fun.
And then in your first stint at Kings Ridge Christian School, what are some of the biggest things you learned in your 5 years there that now you take to your position here?
Well, I think the biggest thing is learning how to appropriately navigate the Georgia High School Athletic Association. My entire work environment came out of navigating the NCAA, which sometimes can be a big problem in trying to work your way through all the things that are required there. Georgia High School was a completely new environment for me. The bylaws there were completely new, and it caused me to jump in and really have to do some serious study right away and get myself on the right page with those things. In the end, though, from my college environment and now in the high school environment, I think the coaches at St. Pius, the coaches that were at Kings Ridge are all just as driven towards success and building young people with great character as they were in college. That transition really isn't much different. It's just a little different age of a student athlete and preparing them in a way that they haven't been prepared before.
And now looking ahead to the 2018-19 school year and also the years beyond that, what are your short-term and your long-term goals for this athletic program?
Well, from a short-term standpoint, the thing that I hope all of our athletes begin to understand and our coaches understand is that I'm not here to bring about whole-scale change. St. Pius has a long-standing, proud tradition of excellence in athletics. Certainly, the idea here isn't to change things. The idea is to enhance what we've already been doing. I've been so impressed to watch how hard our student athletes work through the end of the spring when I had a chance to get in here, watch the commitment and work ethic of our coaches. It's a special place, and there's a bunch of hardworking people here that are driven towards success. My hope is to enhance that, and the first thing I want to do is really kind of dive into our culture and find out where we can pull things together and begin working as a united community rather than united sports. And I think we're doing a pretty good job with that, but I think there's some things we can tweak there. The more we do with that, the more we unify as a department, the better off we're going to be. And I think our focused goal moving forward is to continue to compete at the highest levels for the Georgia Athletic Directors Cup. And we were fortunate this year. This group did a fantastic job. The coaches and student athletes ended up winning the region. We finished third overall. I think we have to set our sights on getting above third. I think we need to be the champions of that. And I hope that as a united group of coaches and student athletes, we can begin that drive and bring home that championship.
All right, Mr. Mooney, thank you very much for your time. And, of course, good luck in your time here at St. Pius. We're glad to have you.
Thanks, Luke. I appreciate it.